Welcome to the first episode of the Stoner Editorial. Today's episode, we are going to discuss what's happening in the United States. Everything's spinning so fast. It seems like it's out of control where I'm at. I'm in Florida. I don't know if you're in Alaska or if you're in New York, things seem like they're spinning really fast. Just everything happening so much at once. It's like information overload. Really happening is when I transplanted from the Northeast to Florida, probably over 30 years ago, I got involved with computers. I went back up north a couple times, a couple of years later. I seen then, and I wasn't in Florida too long, but I seen then that the Northeast was 10 years behind the times. And a lot of the rest of the country was, of what's going on. Because early 90s, late 80s, lots of homes already, probably 10 to 15% of the homes already in Florida already had a computer in their home. When I went back up north 5-10 years after, in that time frame, it's 5-10 years from the time I originally left till this time period here, where there were computers in Florida and probably at least 10-15% of the homes. Went back up north at that same period, and there was a lot of businesses didn't even have computers. And I'm like, how can you operate your small business without word processing? I just couldn't believe it. I mean, you're really behind 10 years of time. And what's happening now is the information is social media. Everybody's taking your fucking money. Subscription for this, subscription for that. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, the middle class are getting poorer. The rich and super rich are getting richer and richer. The super rich are starting to leave the rich behind. It's just greed. But look at Florida. Look how much construction's in Florida. I did a video of Florida, where when there's a video in 52 City Walks about a place called Brickell City in Miami. I mean, it's just changing. Did a drive, Culver Inlet, going there. I mean, it's just the new buildings. The amount of money going in from like West Palm Beach south further is amazing. And then all this building, all the people arriving in the state, it's overwhelming. I mean, I moved into the swamp for a reason. I'm in a swamp. I was, driving, no red lights, maybe one stoplight once you got in close to town. Now there's like 7 or 8 stoplights in a matter of 20 years. What used to take 20 minutes to get in town, now taking like an hour. It's ridiculous. The city come to me, and right across the road from me by the year 2050, they say it's going to be the biggest city in Florida. Florida's expensive anymore. 20, 30 years ago, you buy old orange groves for Oh, they couldn't even give them away, $500. They're selling them like 20-acre lots. $500 an acre. And now they're big, wealthy housing developments. I mean, just the amount of money coming into Florida, you're going to have to be wealthy to be in Florida. Florida's not cheap. A lot of people come here and there were a lot of people from out of this country here. I believe they were responsible for a lot of these insurance scams. Florida was big on insurance scams, I guess. So car insurance in Florida is very expensive. Probably twice as expensive as what you're paying. But, even if the scams and insurance fake claims come down, because the insurance rates are already up there, they're not going to come down. They're going to stay up there. It's like a Hershey bar. Hershey, price of chocolate increased. We got to decrease our size of our chocolate bar, shrinkflation. Okay, well, price of chocolate come down again. Oh, we're making extra money now. Look at this. We're going to keep this chocolate bar the same size. Another 15, 20 years go by. Oh, price of chocolate went up again. We got to decrease the size of the chocolate bar. Oh, chocolate come back down again. Nope, we're going to keep this same size chocolate bar. Hershey's bar has been through that probably a half a dozen times in 25, 30 years. I'll bet you. I don't know how much more it can shrink down. They did a good job of shrinking it down, though. But yeah, Florida's leaving the rest of the country 10 times behind. I mean, just the amount of construction on the highways. These cities weren't going to have the money. It was in a project. It wasn't going to get done for like 10, 15 years down the road. And people were already sitting in for an hour for a 3-mile spot. Like downtown Miami, right where Interstate 95 ends during rush hour. And that's what it was like almost everywhere in Florida. There's so many different highway projects going on in Florida constantly. If you want a job, get a job working on the road in Florida. You will have a job for the next 20 years. Trust me. Or job in concrete. I remember big money's coming in here, so with big money will come big wages. But it's going to cost you a lot of money just to live here, even though you're making big wages. But you should see the things being built and coming into Florida over the next 10, 15 years. I mean, Florida's going to be one of the most magnificent, beautiful areas in the world in another 15, 20 years. If you can, look at the future projects planned for Florida. And those projects usually come quicker than what's planned, because that's how many people want to come here. Look for something that's 10, 15 years out from being built and try and buy some land around there. I mean, it's going to be expensive already, but it'll be a lot more expensive when they start building it up. So you look for projects 10, 15 years out if you have your money. And that's going to be your best investment. Land never goes down. Price of raw land never goes down. They build something on top of it, yeah, that can fluctuate quite a bit, and it has. What was it, '03, '08 or something like that? The big housing crash, financial crash. Happened twice in the past, what, 20 years or so, 30 years? Housing went like down like 60, 80%. But the price of land, the raw land, did not come down. That was going for $5,000 an acre that wasn't cleared or anything. Then it still was going on during when everything crashed. Now you weren't going to be able to price gouge that piece of land, but you get whatever the true market value was. So yeah, land won't come down, especially in Florida. It will not come down. It's going to be going up for the next 30 years, and it's going to attract people worldwide. But yeah, things are moving fast. I mean, Florida, another thing in Florida is they are, don't laugh at this, it's true. I don't know what they call them, I forget what they call them. Starting to experiment with these flying taxis, like a drone, with personal helicopters. Is the state of Florida starting to experiment with personal helicopters and the drone taxis? Yes, Florida is actively initiating experiments with electrical vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, commonly known as air or drone taxis. The state is approved to test the electric vehicles designed for passenger and cargo transport without runways, with testing and starting in the summer of 2026. Public private partnership are going to fund landing hubs or vertiports for these vehicles. Partnership projects being developed in areas such as St. Pete, at the Sun Tracks facility in Auburndale. I don't know what that is. Purpose: these aircrafts, which function as high-tech, quieter drones, aim to reduce traffic congestions for commuters. With Archer Aviation's Midnight aircraft, like I said, Florida is leaving the rest of the country behind, man. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. This is it for the first edition of the Old Stoner editorial, current affairs editorial. And what's going on with the world? Who knows? Is it about money? Possibly. With China's trying to get everybody to trade in you or whatever, and they got a lot of countries already doing that. And EAU or UEA or whatever that is just threatened to get rid of all their United States holdings. So the United States got to give them fake money, or they're going to dump all United States holdings and bankrupt the United States. Anyway, there's your editorial for closing, and it's a scary fucking world out there. You need to do some inhalation therapy and just relax and chill. Till episode 2, season 1. Okie dokie, Roger and out.